Oh, we're
Oh,
starting.
man.
Hello.
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 Every Rush song.
I was hoping that Tim would keep singing when I hit the record button.
Wasted days and wasted nights. I don't know the next line, but I like to sing to you, my fellow Rush fans. Ba-ba-doo-doo-doo-die.
All right. Well, here we are singing Freddie Fender on on every
All them
Rush
Rush
song.
songs.
You know what? I mean, how can you really appreciate any one particular group if you don't have a vast exposure to lots of other music of
Right.
various genres and idioms?
That's
Couldn't
what
think
I
of anything
always.
else to say.
That's what I've always thought, Shane. You should always be willing to expose yourself.
Yes.
No, we must start this podcast with in a particular sort of
Idiom, sir?
yes, idiom.
You know, I think that the three members of Rush probably were pretty big Monty Python fans.
Oh,
Would you agree?
absolutely.
Monty
Yeah.
Python fan.
Not
Right.
to, and the Stooges.
Yes.
They liked.
Yes.
Did y'all read the article I sent you? Geddy Lee's favorite comedians.
Yeah.
Did I ever?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well,
Did I
hello,
ever know?
Rush fan. We are so glad that you would join your three other favorite Rush fans other than you on this particularly spectacular round of episode of every Rush song. I can't say the right one on the podcast that we're supposed to say around.
Sir,
And now I can't say it.
you have too many podcasts going,
I
sir.
guess it's true. Yes. Welcome to All Things Rush Beer. Hello and welcome to All Things Rush. Have you ever been to a Rush concert and thought, did I plan this myself? So last week we discussed, what did we discuss last week, Jay?
A Farewell to Kings.
A Farewell to Kings.
The song.
The song.
The
Yes.
song, not the album, right? We're
The
taking it.
Yeah. The
few
thong.
songs.
The thong.
That's right.
Just the
That's
thong.
right. And so we sort of left on a cliffhanger. Maybe. I thought it was a little cliffhangy.
I knew Cliff.
I happen to be an expert on cliffhangers.
Hey there.
You know me.
Hey there, Nami.
So yeah, here we are. Every Rush song. A few Rush fans. I'm Shane. Here happily with my two great friends. I think I introduced the other one first last week. So this week introducing first my most esteemed colleague and sweet-voiced one, Jay Ray. And not the dog you hear barking in Tim's backyard, but that handsome devil there with the glasses and the headphones.
Rough.
Well said. Well said. The ladies are all impressed. And so is Tim. Tim, who also happens to be my other good friend up there in the dark corner. Say hi to Tim, ladies and gentlemen. Hi to Tim.
Hi, Tim. How are you doing?
Not you.
I've got a raging hemorrhoid right now, but
Okay.
besides that, I'm
Oh,
okay.
right. Tim, this is an adult show. Oh,
Right, exactly. And all adults have had hemorrhoids.
No, that is
And
kind
I've
of
got a
funny.
raging one.
Is there any point in making a podcast about Rush? What kid is going to care about Rush?
Oh,
The kids whose parents were
The smart
huge
ones.
Rush fans.
The
right.
smart ones. You know, I
That's
must say, this morning I was riding in the car with my daughter.
Darth Vader.
I was riding on Darth Vader's motor scooter, and listening to Tom Sawyer, and I said, "Ooh, I love this song. Listen to this line. I love this line." She goes, "Okay." And so it got to the Noah's mind is not for rent to any god or government. Always hope we get discontent. And so I paused it and I went, "Now here's my favorite line of the song." Followed by this incredible drum fill, and she's like, "Oh yeah, isn't it awesome when the great line is followed by a great part of the song?" I'm so proud of her right now.
Oh, yes.
Someone get that cat out of here.
I think Tim is being attacked at this very moment. All right, so what we're doing, we're going to eventually go album by album with every Rush song, but here in the beginning, we've we we were going to pick out a few popular ones, but Jay threw us an impressive curveball, and I swung, totally missed. So so Jay, you were
Yeah,
the one that came up with this brilliant selection,
we did.
"Closer to the Heart." Tell us, Jay.
Closer to the Heart
Did
from
it
A Farewell to
cl-
Kings.
did it come closer to your heart?
It did.
Okay.
It did. I recall as we were last week, we were discussing A Farewell to Kings and talking about the hypocrisy and the corruption and all that kind of stuff. And the line in there, one of the lines in the song said, "Can't we find the mind to lead us closer to the heart?"
Closer to the heart.
Which brings us to Closer to the Heart. And I would say if A Farewell to Kings was the problem, then Closer to the Heart is the solution.
Or it's the hope for the solution.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Tim.
Yes, it is the
Give
hope
him a
for the
gold star.
solution.
Ooh, can we hand out gold
Yay.
stars on every Rush song?
So basically, it's basically time for us to get back to what's right, what's fair, what's goody good, whatever that is. And the line, the men who hold high places must be the ones to start. So it starts from the top. The leaders must set the example using their powers for good and not evil. But it's also everyone else's responsibility to mold a new reality, make a difference using your strengths. And that's all I got to say about that.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Forrest. Tim?
I mean, the song talks about, yes, your leaders, your men in high places, but down to, and describing how, not just the artists, the sculptors, the painters, the musicians, and how they're creating and going about doing their craft. I mean, that's all about the heart,
Right.
you know.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But brings it to the person working in the field, doing the farming, doing the maintenance, that it's in their heart to do that, Now, I think today, not every person, not every farmer out there is going, man, I love planting this corn. I got such a about doing it. No, I'm doing it to feed my family. Okay. But the general idea is leading with your heart, and we're talking about the good heart and not the bad heart, because that's going to be a problem regardless. Your evil isn't just from the mind. Their heart is bad. So as good humans, we must learn to track and hunt those people down.
Wasn't the
And
exact
do
message
it.
that I got, but yeah,
While
okay.
using
Wow.
the closeness of your good heart to dispose of the evil.
Right.
Wow. Okay. Didn't see it going there.
Ding, 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 ding,
Ding, ding, ding. And the men who hold high places.
So, Tim, you
Yes.
are, without a doubt, I think the biggest Rush fan I know. Probably know more
Yeah.
about them than anyone I know.
Right.
So, and Closer to the Heart is obviously one of the more popular songs. So, you probably like a more deep cuts, I guess is what they would be called to most people. So, with all of that in mind, how do you rank Closer to the Heart amongst the Rush catalog?
It's such a huge catalog, and yes, when you ask me about my favorites, I do tend to go a lot deeper, but Closer to the Heart's got to be in my top 20.
Okay.
And
I
I
mean,
say
do you get
that's
excited
good
to hear it, or you're like, Closer to the Heart again?
Because
it's one you're more likely to hear on the radio,
well,
right?
Yeah, right. Back in the day when
Yeah, when-
rock stations actually played
When
Rush,
they existed. Yeah.
Yeah, if it was Triple Shot Thursday, chances are Closer to the Heart was going to be in there. And I go, oh, they could have played something else. I've heard Closer to the Heart 1,000 times, but
Would you say a closer to the heart is the closest thing that Rush has to a ballad like, say, Kiss with Beth? That closer to the heart would be. I mean,
uh,
I'm trying to think.
I think
I
there's a
wouldn't.
few on their later albums that could be classified as more
Well, I'm just talking like
Well,
it's
but
the
like
but
big,
but
Neil
it's that
style
big
ballad,
okay,
but
timeless
okay.
hit
So
type of thing.
so
ooh, that's a
when you
good
say
topic. Like Rush ballads. Write
so
that down.
right. So when you think of a rock band's ballad and they're playing that song in concert, what were people getting out and doing? They were getting their cigarette lighters out. Scorpions, Still Loving You. Boom. Holiday, Scorpions. Yes, Night Ranger, Sister Christian, blah, 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 blah,
Sister
blah,
Christian going all the
blah.
fun.
And yeah, Kiss Beth. Yes, cigarette lighters come out. Well,
Let me
this
see
was
your cigarette lighters.
Lighters. Thank you, Ozzy.
Forever yours,
But yes, so
faithfully.
in concert, when I started to go see Rush in concert, I was excited and anticipating them playing Closer to the Heart.
Ah,
So I could see that arena
it was
just lit up
it was
because
their lighters
everybody
on.
had their
Right.
lighters out. It
Right.
was just it
Okay.
it's you know
Okay.
so that song has some very sentimental because of things like that. That I love that part in anybody's concert. It's a coming together of not just the artist but the fans. You know, they're all participating in the song, and Closer to the Heart does that.
Good answer, Tim. That
Yep,
is
I
not
agree
the
with that.
answer I expected.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, though.
Wow.
I mean, it may not be a ballad, but it certainly has the power ballad, big rock show.
If they kept it all acoustic guitar,
Yeah,
then I would classify Closer to the Heart as a ballad.
yeah. But I mean, let's
Ballad
face
for
it.
mankind.
Let's face it. Who goes to a Rush concert to hear a ballad?
How many rock songs are about some form of love,
Yeah,
regardless of how shallow or deep it is? And then someone like U2, where the word love is probably in every one of their songs. Even this song here, the word love doesn't even appear in Closer to the Heart, right? And then how many Rush
Right.
songs do they mention love in?
Well, there's from counterparts, The Speed of Love. And so they say love a whole lot in that song.
How many albums? How
I
many times have
just
they mentioned
don't
albums?
I don't think the word love appears in Witch Hunt.
No,
No, it
no,
doesn't
doesn't
appear in
appear in
Witch
the
Hunt.
weapon.
Doesn't
Tom
appear in
Sawyer.
the weapon.
I like the
No.
part where it goes, "I love you, Tom Sawyer." I might have made that up. Yeah, I was when Jay
Nice layout. Nice layout.
when Jay picked Closer to the Heart, I was kind of like, "Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to listen to Closer to the Heart again." But after listening to, I guess I kind of did the same thing when listening to A Farewell to Kings, and then at the end when he says Closer to the Heart, I thought, okay, there's a tie in there. So I went back, and I don't think I made the same connection that Jay did with A Farewell to Kings being the problem and Closer to the Heart being the answer. But I did make a different connection because one of the problems I've always had with Closer to the Heart is that it tells about this great thing of being closer to the heart and a reality closer to the heart. But Neil never says what to do or how to do it or what it means or anything. But then, after listening to A Farewell to Kings and then another song that I'm about to mention, it started to make more sense because if you look at all the people he says, the blacksmiths and the artists, the philosophers and the plowmen, all these sort of artisans and workers and kind of hands-on crafts people are the ones that he are saying are the ones that are good at it and are going to lead this. So that kind of reminded me of is it Ceiling Unlimited, where he says, if culture is the curse of the thinking class? which
Mm.
is the thinking class does all these mental exercises and the reading and the studying and all that, but they never and they're less likely to enjoy that joy of tinkering and building things and the working with the hands. And I think that something work with hands, whether it's art, a blacksmith's work or sculpting, or like Tim, you mentioned a farmer, when that work with your hands where you're making this thing or producing something hands-on, touching it, I think is going to be closer to the heart. It's going to be more heartfelt. You're going to enjoy it more. And that overall, that sort of lifestyle of making, building, hands-on is going to be a more healthy lifestyle and a happier lifestyle, and spread more of that than just that whole thinking, sitting, enjoying, leisurely lifestyle of the so-called cultural class.
Yeah.
I'm going to disagree with you.
Silence. Wait.
No,
I
No,
think
that's
it's
a-
in our charter that no one can disagree with me.
I really
No.
didn't even think about that. They forge their creativity closer
Forge
to
their
the heart.
creativity. Ooh,
But-
thank you, Jay.
But
And
welcome.
I
we'll see
do
you
I
in the
do
next
believe
episode.
Neil I do believe Neil does give us the answer
Oh.
on how to be closer to the heart. I
Tell
mean, he
us.
says
Tell
the
us.
philosophers and
Tell us.
plowmen,
Fine, don't tell
They-
us.
they must know their part to sow a new mentality, a new way of thinking, which really to me, it is a new way of thinking because nobody thinks that way. In their love for what they do is how they get it done. And if our men who hold the high places, well, they should be the ones to start in thinking in that mentality of everybody coming together closer to the heart. And then at the end, when he says, you can be the captain, instead of saying, I will be the captain and you draw the chart,
Oh, Tim's
together
giving me
sailing
chills right
into
now.
destiny. No, he's giving it to somebody else, giving the other person the high
It's-
place, the captain.
It's being selfless, being closer
Right.
to the heart, thinking
Right.
more with your heart than you're trying to get ahead or trying to
Right.
to better do something better than someone else.
Right. You
Yeah.
can be the captain, and I'll draw the chart on where we're going, and together we're sailing into
captain.
destiny.
I love that. That was exact. I was just going to ask what your interpretation was of that line, but that's great. I like that.
Right.
Well, and unfortunately, the men who hold high places just happen to be the scheming demons dressed in
Ex-
kingly guy, dressed up like Ben
Exactly.
Kingsley.
Exactly.
I might have mispronounced that.
Yes.
Scheming demons.
That's the
dressed
sad
like
thing.
Ben Kingsley.
You're stuck in that cycle because you're not going to get the men who hold high places to start to do anything that's right for anybody else but themselves.
You know, and
Right.
I guess that also, since you put it that way, goes along with the Ayn Rand. Am I pronouncing her name right? Ayn Rand. Sorry, the Ayn Rand philosophy that's
No,
sort of anti.
it's Anne.
Anne.
And Rand?
Isn't it?
I've heard it both ways.
And Rand?
I think
Anne.
it depends on what part of
R2D2.
Canada you're from.
Rand Paul. Just kidding.
Oh,
Which part?
Paul
Oh yeah, like
Stanley.
Pert versus Piert. Piert.
Well, there is no pert. It's
The
just
shampoo.
Piert.
What about the shampoo?
well, there is
That's
a shampoo, but
I
that's
like
actually
Peart.
spelled P-E-R-T.
I like Piert shampoo. It's my favorite.
I would prefer Peart shampoo,
No.
but that's just me.
Yeah. But that sort of her sort of, I guess, pro-individual, anti-communist, pro-individual mentality of that loving doing something because you love it, not just because it's your job. That's the mentality. That's closer to the heart. So it does kind of, I think, tie in with Neil's
And
philosophy at the time.
and what I think closer to the heart is trying to say, yeah, you might have gotten that job because you had to, but learn to approach it in the way that an artist approaches doing a painting.
Ah,
You know,
so not
if you can learn to
necessarily-
do that, then number one, your job gets easier.
So not necessarily do what you love, but take
Love
it a
what
step
you do.
further and love what you do.
Right. You love
Well,
what you do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
make it. Yeah, don't make it kind of make it not a job, but something that that you love to do.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, I think both of you just said that.
No,
Is
I mean,
this
not
thing
really.
on?
Not exactly. Hello.
Hey,
check it.
let's
Hello.
all
Testing,
say
testing.
what we just said at the same time, but do it in perfect 3-part harmony.
I
How
don't
about
rem-
that?
I don't
Okay,
remember
let's
what
do.
any of us said, including me, though.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
I
Well,
sound
see.
like Minion Squeaky. Hello.
Hello.
Hey. That
Oh,
wasn't from
that's
Laverne
what's
and
happening.
Shirley. That was way
No,
off.
hey was what's happening.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, and I will say this on the recorded version. I don't like the whoa, oh, whoa at the end. I mean, I love Getty's voice in general, but something about that end where he goes, whoa, whoa. I'm just.
Okay, it doesn't go like that. It's simply whoa.
No, towards
Yeah.
there's a whoa, you can be the. But after that,
Yeah,
as it's fading out, there's a whoa.
Oh, at the very end, the fade out.
Yeah.
Are
Now
you
I do like
kidding
on
me?
some of the live versions where they do the simpler kind of dun 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 dun. I do like that.
Where
a
they
lot.
do the closer to the heart jam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like that. I do like that. Because it's just, I mean, it's simple 4/4, not even a solo over, just a kind of a, how do we end this thing? How do we end this thing?
Okay, so I have a question. I know that Menil Peart is the lyricist for a great many, if not most, of the Rush
Things.
songs.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm reading here, and it's from Rush.com. It says the lyrics to this song were written by Neil Peart and Peter Talbot. Does anybody know who Peter Talbot is?
He was his lawn maintenance guy at the time.
Is not
Just totally made up. You
true.
just pulled that right out of your butthole.
Oh.
Like
You
the
know,
hemorrhoids.
No, Peter Talbot, he was an English professor at the school when Neil had moved to England. And
Oh, really?
so, but then when Neil moved back to Canada because he was failing in England at the time, Peter went back with him and Peter became Neil's milkman.
You know,
I feel like that's a lie.
I was
too.
buying it.
Well, that's
For
still
You
a
were
got to the
buying
milk.
it until
Until you
the
got
end.
to the milkman
yeah.
part.
So I was thinking, wow, I want to fail in England too. That sounds fun to fail in England, and then
Well,
man. Well, and I saw someone today. I think I saw the line that Peter Talbot wrote, and I do not remember which one it was. I think he wrote.
Whoa.
The heart.
He wrote whoa.
Yeah, he wrote the whoa.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
Well, fellow Rush fan, you've heard from the three of us. Wait, anyone else have anything else they'd like to add about Closer to the Heart? Jay? Jay?
I would just like to say.
All right, Jay doesn't have anything to
I have
say.
nothing
So
else
next
to
time.
add.
Oh. I would just like to add that I have nothing else to say. Tim, final thoughts. Closer to the Heart and go.
Closer to the heart. Great song.
Good question, Tim.
Loved it. And that's it. It's a great song.
I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more.
I couldn't agree tomorrow either. Wow. I think we did a respectful. I like the way we tied the two songs together. Is that going to happen? And even brought in a third. Ceiling Unlimited.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Jay?
Yo.
Let's do a little teaser. What song will be coming up next? And then we can hope that I release these in the correct order.
Well, the next song that's going to be coming up is from the album Hemispheres.
Oh, Hemorrhoid Fears.
A little instrumental by the name of La Villa Strangiato.
Ooh, I cannot wait to break down those lyrics.
Oh, these are the best of lyrics.
All right. Well, Rush fan, thank you for taking this ride with us in our red barchetta that we like to call our podcast. what the ending is going to come to me. It'll come organically, naturally. I don't know what it is, but it is.
Especially if you really work at it.
I don't understand what I just said. But yeah.
Okay, nobody does.
So nobody does. Enjoy the show. Give us a rating. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Share it.
Because sharing
I'm
makes love grow.
It does, as my great and wise friend Jay once wrote. Sharing makes love grow.
He's a good man.
I'll
And-
take care of
I
it.
think Tim's got the perfect ending. Tim,
He also has an arm itch. Oh, yes. Until next time.
Thank you very much. You've been a wonderful audience. We hope to see you again sometime. Thank you. Bye-bye.
every Rush song